We're good. So when I say Zamane, say bartender. Yeah. But at any point I can oscillate between these two exercises. So I say Zamane. And then you say yes. I get dealt with this thing. Good?
Be brave right in the front.
Yeah. Yeah. Kaput. Prado. Extravagant. G63? Ferrari. Mojito.
Bartender. He got a kaput is a mallet. Bartender.
Yes, Puzza.
He got a kaput mojito.
Mojito.
Bartender.
Buffet. No,
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Center for the Less Good Idea. My name is Athena Mazarakis. I'm the mentor of the Academy for the Less Good Idea. This evening's program, The Open Moment, is a program that falls under the umbrella of the Academy. And the Open Moment always comes at the end of a workshop process. So we've been in a wonderful 5-day process in a mentorship entitled Thinking in Writing. So all of our mentorships, all of our workshops are thinking in, because we believe in thinking through doing. This particular mentorship is part of a 3-part mentorship that will unfold through the year, and it is about building towards the staging of a work. So we started with the first building block, that being writing, and we invited 3 extraordinary South African playwrights to lead this process. So we were very fortunate to have Neil Coppen with us at the start of the week. Unfortunately, Neil is onto his next project in Oudtshoorn, so he can't be with us this evening. He was followed by MoMo Matsunyane. And then we rounded off the week with Jefferson Tshabalala. Anchoring and being partly center team, partly facilitator, was the center's own process writer, David Mann. And these three writers were invited because we feel they all come with such a very strong and unique perspective, approach, and voice that we thought it would be really wonderful to bring a group of 10 young writers to this workshop so that these very particular unique approaches could assist them in unlocking their practice in new ways, allowing them to come to the practice through unfamiliar routes, through unusual perspectives, and through very, very different methodologies. So already you've walked into a space where you thought you were coming in to see some writing and people were warming up, and that'll give you a sense of what you're about to see and how the week unfolded. So the open moment tries to do quite a complex thing. It tries to compress everything that happened over 5 days in 60 to 90 minutes, and we'll try our best to stay within that time frame. So obviously there were incredible things that happened in this week that we can't share with you. That is something that will inform the process of these writers who will stay with us in an extended mentorship for another 4 months until June, where working on their own, developing the texts that emerged during these days under the mentorship of these writers, MoMo, Jeff, Neil, and Dave, will have a chance to really develop those texts. So we're hoping that by the end of this year, some of those texts will come through with us into directing, into lighting, into staging. So what you're about to witness this evening is the particular approaches that Momo and Jeff will share with us, of why they did what they did, and we'll also give you snippets or fragments of what emerged. So everything you will hear that these writers will share, and they'll introduce themselves a little later through the program, all emerged from Monday to today. These are very early moments. So the invitation here is to receive and listen with generosity, because this is a very vulnerable moment for these writers. These are early days of early explorations where they've had lots of new information thrown at them. So this is a delicate moment. So please listen with open ears and open hearts to what you're about to see. So in the absence of Neil, I'm going to ask Dave to give us a sense of the ground that Neil covered, and then we'll invite some of the writers to share the writing that emerged from that experience. Have a lovely evening. Chat to you at the end.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So, as Athena mentioned, I'll give a kind of, in Neil's absence, a brief overview of what he led us through. So, Neil arrived on Monday and immediately gave us a kind of run-through of the work that he does with Theatre. This is a theatre company he runs with Mpumi Mtombeni and Dylan McGarry. And underpinning Theatre's work is a very deep, intense research methodology. And Neil sort of very simply, clearly broke down a lot of that methodology for us, starting with what research can look like. And this is newspaper articles, this is oral histories, this is conversations that take place in the everyday, mythology, and in many senses, I think this was the first revelation, or the first reminder, which is that research happens in the everyday. Writing is a process that is sort of ongoing. It can be passive in that way, and it's continuous. We were asked to come into the process with a story, a newspaper article that we had found that resonated with us. And this was a story that we'd carry through the 5 days with us. The question we always returned to was, why this story? Why does it matter? Why does it deserve to be on the stage? So now the question being, what to do with all of this research, where to begin? A key exercise that resonated with all of us that Neil led us through was find 5 images. Distill all of your research, your interests in this story, in 5 key images that come to mind. Write those images in short, sharp vignettes. And we'll hear some of that writing now.
Hello, my name is Nolwazi Mahlangu, and I came in with an article that was written by someone who went to an exhibition that talks about migration. And the image that I came up with was a Machangan bag, which is also called a Ghana Must Go. And I wrote a piece from the perspective of the bag. They broke the calabash at the country's exit, a symbol of death or leaving, or both. And I, majestic, was hurled into the sky and onto the shoulders of this hero in this journey. And I stayed there. We traveled, but never left. Searching for home seems like a tedious task. One goes through so much, and the hands, the brutality of those men at the border, shoving their hands inside of you, violating you, searching for contraband, themselves, their homes their mothers left. Last time I found myself here, I was carried on a raft, the shape of a door.
There we go. Hello, my name is Noah Cohen, and the initial article that piqued my interest was last week a private moon vehicle landed on the moon, and it was funded privately, and they even had one yesterday, and I'm kind of seeing all of this private enterprise move out from Earth into space. And as wonderful and as exciting as space exploration is, it kind of also scared me a little bit because there's so much happening on the Earth and we're already just moving outwards. So the couple of the images that I chose were to bring this very large and grandiose, adventurous, star-like thing to a very human level. So the first image I have is a boardroom, a round table complete with water glasses, finger sandwiches, papers, folders, binders at the station of each chair, headphones for translation, a slide projector, a map of the moon, markers, scissors, knives, torn up pieces of paper. And then another image that came to mind was a rock from the moon that is entirely unremarkable. Gray, almost a mini version of the moon, dusty, small craters, or a drop of water. And in that water there is life, single-celled organisms. Perhaps the water is at some point mistaken and poured into one of the glasses in the boardroom and possibly drunk by mistake. So those were the images that came to mind. Thank you.
Iskipas gachon espalu seven sankaza. Iskipas gachon espalu seven sankaza. Wamba mama tombe, wamba mama figa, wamba mama. One more time. Espalu seven sankaza. Iskipas gachon espalu seven sankaza. Wamba mama tombe. Wow, mama, my hips. Dumelang. Akira dumelang. How? Leshapo. Okay, nakina MoMo with capital M Matsunyane, ne? And then na get a little like ne? And if I live on mo, you must just stand, okay? So this is me, ne? You see, I'm brown, yabo. Yeah, and then this is my father, but he's not brown, but my mother was brown. But why is my mom big? Wait. Yeah, here is my mother and my father. And then we stayed in Sprayed View, ne? But I didn't live with these ones, you see these two. So they live somewhere else here, and then me, I live here with my grandmother. Yeah, this is my grandmother. My grandmother is my favorite person in the whole world. So I live with my grandmother. My grandmother was so strict. My grandmother was a nurse. She was a matron. And nobody could get past her. Ne? So one day my father says to my grandmother, hey, I need you to look after my child. I'm going to pursue an acting career. Acting career? No, why an acting career? Man, I've got dreams. Fine. My father, he lives with my mother. He's hustling there. He's taking taxis every day to auditions. They are 1920. They were naughty. Ne? So here's my father here at the TV station. Eventually my father, he becomes famous. Yo! He's on the TV every day. Me and my grandmother, I tell my grandmother, I say, go. Even me, I also want to do this thing of acting. My grandmother's like, have you seen your father? Have you seen him? I'm like, oh, but he's doing well. He's on TV. He's famous. Please, go ubale. Me, one day I leave. I go to this other place called the University of the Witwatersrand. But they call it Words. Yeah, I go to Words. I go to Words. I'm in first year. I meet my friends. I meet these 3 girls. Their names, Tumi with a Y. Get Tumi with a Y. That's Tumi with a Y. Oh, Kitty. She says, just Kitty. Okay? That's how she introduces herself. And then this one is Zetu Mazurd with an Erd. That's us. Tumi with a Y, just Kitty. Mazurd with an Erd. We become friends. Yo! It's so nice at school. Every time we have assignments, every time they say, you guys need to do shows for school, we're always working together. One day, we graduate. Yeah! There are 4 of us here. You see these things? These are our graduation things. You see those ones? Yeah. So here we are graduates now. We are in the industry. We are professionals. We are trained actors. We get into the industry. Nothing like what we thought. The industry was doing this to us. We're like, wait! I just want to act. But they say, not so much. We're not getting work. We're attending auditions. No one is giving us work. So we decide, Yazini, watch for me. Let's leave this place, and since no one cares for us and our degrees, we will make our own work. It was tough. It was hard. It was unnecessary. But here we are, and we are stars. We are shining bright like diamonds. And we got together and we said, guys, let's create a collective. We called ourselves the Thanks Ladies. And our job was to tell stories that would reflect our socio-economic and political issues that we were faced with as young black women. We spoke about the couch. You know the couch. In the acting industry, the famous couches. And if you're not willing to be on the couch, you got to take the long route. Yeah, we spoke. There was another show we did, parody, satire, pastiche, and we were just speaking about our world. We had a show called The Amazing Racist. It was really cool. We were all competing to be the biggest racist. And we played these big mamas, the triple M mamas. Make it to Manyalo Limafu. Right? And we began our writing process. I did not start writing because to be or not to be, I don't have the words. But what I did know is that I had a love and a passion for stories, and I needed to get them out. And just because no one was giving me an opportunity to do so, I wasn't going to let my dreams die. And that's how I became a playwright. Now I'm here today, and what I've shared with our Alisamblel Ooh. You guys, Nina. Sure, anyway. I spent the week with these amazing, amazing writers. And my job was to facilitate a process in which I show them how play, traditional storytelling, improvisation, and games can help you write your story. Let's play.
In a forest in the middle of nowhere, there was a big... What? It's not writing. Hey. Okay. Take two.
Yes.
In a forest in the middle of nowhere, there was a very big garden. In this garden, there were all sorts of fruits and vegetables.
Banana!
Fish.
Pineapple!
Behind the garden lived an old woman who lived by herself. Gog Mask. Gog Mask always loved to cook on Sundays. And every Sunday, when the sun would rise, all the vegetables in the garden would come to life. Gog Mask would step to the front door, stand there, look out into the garden and say, fruits, veggies, may the force be with you. Let the Hunger Games begin! Spinach would kill spinach, carrots would kill potatoes, apples would kill bananas. It was a fruit bath. And there was silence. On this day, the fruits decided to have a banana revolution. Banana revolution! They raced to the front of Gog Mask's house, went into the house. They dragged her out into the garden where they had prepared a hole. Then they took her and put her inside the hole and covered the hole with soil. The banana stood on top of the soil and said, it's time for you to grow. From the soil rose one tiny little plant, a beanstalk. It wound up and up and up and up into the sky. And at the top of this beanstalk was Gog Mask's soul. The end.
Thank you, team. This is known by many names. Gemaskita, Mantane, Mantane, Rodadisa, and there's many variations of this game. When I'm writing, so all I know is to perform. I'm an actor. I speak through my body, impersonations, reenactments, imagination. I cannot sit down and sit and write. That I don't work like that. And so using Maskita has helped me write my plays because it offers me an opportunity to play, to unravel with the story as it is happening, as it is going. When you're young and you're playing this with your friends, it's like Netflix and chill. Yeah. You know, and you are lucky if you on that day get to be the storyteller. And so you have to make sure that you have a good story. And everybody follows and they sit around you and they just listen. And I found that this has helped me in my creative process because it allows me to imagine the world of the characters. I can map it out as I'm seeing it. I can create relationships between the characters as they happen. I can see me in those stones. The stones suddenly have so much value. And because it's improvised, it allows me to go anywhere. The structure of the well-made play boxes me and arrests me and makes me feel like I'm not writing well because I don't know how to identify whether it's the rising action. Oh, now it's the climax. I just know shit's about to go down. So I write with instinct and passion and just knowing what I want. I have an idea, but I need the space in the room to play. And this is what this has helped me with. Shall we move to the second part? Or, yeah? Thank you. The second activity we did is called wearing the text. This is a technique I like to use when I am writing a monologue for a character or internalized thoughts, a soliloquy. This helps me. The task is to grab an object, a piece of clothing, that you think your character would wear. You sit with it, you smell it, you bend it, you open it, you stretch it, and then you have to wear it. And then you write from the perspective of this character. Yes? This has helped create fully rounded characters for me and trying to get inside the mind. Some of the questions I asked them to write or to think about while writing this is, what's my past? Everybody has a past and identity, right? So what's my past? Who am I? What am I doing here? What do I want? What's the strategy with which I'm going to get it? And what's my secret? Because we all have secrets. Yes, Keda, you may proceed.
My name is Mnqobi. My mother tells me my surname is Molefe, and I believe her. Yeah, so this material is very scratchy, you know. It's made of something that I keep scratching when I'm wearing it. And the scratching informs the gesture, and the gesture informs the voice, and the voice informs the writing. Lena lami Gihau. I come from the village of Te. Gau Wate. I am a retired breadwinner. I have many children, my favorite being Zama Lizama. Zama Zama. It's power that I want. The power to see men kneel and squeal. To see the sight of red words spilling from mouths and limbs and genitals. I want to drink them drunk with alcohol and cash heist them into Sun City prisons and manifest their phallus fantasies and give them AIDS beggars. Ah, my only fans. Ntwaremo kiagata. Mbambea pangulasa.
My name is Jessica Sibongile Mathe. I am a wanderer, looking, feeling, finding my place of soft landing, my voice, where I long to be, trying to rid myself of versions of me I never created. My strategy is to take myself to the tree where it all happened, where he killed himself. My secret is that I too, I feel the need to commit suicide. But I just want to hear him say no, to reveal himself to me. I'm running away from my death. So when I started this process, I wanted to explore African spirituality and Christianity, and where the break was, where Africans felt, oh, African spirituality doesn't work for us anymore. We want to be Christians. And I wasn't sure how I was going to tackle that. And then MoMo says, where's the text? And she says, pick something there that speaks to you. And I find these shoes. I had no idea what I was going to do with them, but when I wore them, I thought of my grandfather and how he passed on, and thought that is my way into the spirituality and how to speak about how death is spiritual in itself. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Grace Matetoa. My item of choice is a coat. I decided to write from the experience of an alien who has just left Earth and recounting what she found and what she found it to be like. I'll read and then I'll dive into a little bit more of what I discovered. The first time I wore clothing was awful. Everything stuck to me and I simply wasn't allowed to take it off. Humans have this thing called fashion. Everyone seems to be involved in maintaining its importance, but it made no sense to me. And not to mention jackets and coats. In fact, another one of these men I dated put a jacket over my shoulders one evening and became offended when I said, I simply don't need it. He hammered in the night that it gets cold and women like me should cover up and be protected from weather and masculine predators. I know how rejection works. I've experienced it before. Humans and their clothes. I just simply couldn't wear him. So in discovering this, I just fleshed out more relationships between men and women and how inherently there's a bind between us, but we are so different, and why there are so many constructs, whether it be clothing or music or anything we engage in on earth, that completely always separates us. Cool, thank you.
Sanbonani. My name is Mongezi Ntukwana. So I struggled a lot with the departure point of my piece. I didn't exactly know where to start, and that's mainly because I'm dealing with a concept, or rather the ideology, that is capitalism. So I'm not necessarily dealing with a person or a character. So how this exercise helped me is that by donning this overall, I was able to then personify this monster that is capitalism. Right? I could start from just describing how constraining this overall is and how much it really controls your movements. I am money, the silent architect of societies, that invisible hand that dictates movement, ambition, and most importantly, your survival. My strategy is to constantly multiply and provide efficiency. I am the threshold between survival and ruin. I aim to bring competition by any means necessary. My secret is that I want to remain forever relevant. I do not want to live in constant fear of being replaced by those silly plastic cards or those bloody phones you can tap.
Thank you so much. And guys, these are just like extracts of what they wrote. There's some really interesting and yummy stuff that they get to dig into later. So it was very exciting. Wearing the text for me is really about allowing the object to be an extension of the character. Whenever I told them the story, my dad, whenever I see DVD or a helmet, I think of my father because he's obsessed with motorbikes. When I see DVDs, I think of him, and it reminds me of his OCD, and he packs them in alphabetical order according to genre. And, but that already as a character, when you're thinking of how to write someone, these objects can help us extract the story because they belong to people and they have histories and pasts, and you can imagine try to imagine who this person is and write from that perspective. Yeah, thank you very much.
And so when Neil takes us or starts us off on a process of deep research, deep ideation, and then with a sense, a starting point of an image to pursue, a kind of place to see ourselves in the story, MoMo enters the process and immediately puts us into our bodies in the most fantastic way. So we've seen now with this exercise of wearing the text, it's a way of stepping into a character immediately. How do they talk? What are their secrets? How do they walk? What decisions would they make in the world? And it immediately lends a momentum to a text. We have a world, and now we have a vehicle or a character to help us move through this world. Similarly, with the game of chalk and stones, on an immediate level, it's a way of bringing us into the room, bringing us together, and allowing us to sort of co-author a story, to write and make a narrative collaboratively, collectively. But being on the outside of the process as well, I noticed that it's this brilliant narrative tool. It's a kind of mapping that takes place on the ground, a narrative mapping that allows us to set out the space, the architectures perhaps that exist in the space, and then those characters that we get to put to work inside of that story to see how they move through the space and also how they interact with one another, which was such an enormously joyful and generative process. With all of this material, we then welcome Jeff into the space. Jeff, similarly, just as quickly gets us to land on the level of the sentence and to work with language with a deep, deep intentionality and a deep playfulness as well. The echo, rhyme, flow, playfulness of language, how words can be characters themselves, how words can be put to work inside of a story. Over to you, Jeff.
Thank you so much. Molweni. Molweni. Ndiniva kamandi this side. This side. Molweni. Molweni. Well, tables, they do turn every now and again. Molweni. Molweni. It's not even about the numbers. It's about the level of engagement and enthusiasm. I see your manyness. But the core over here, So, come on. Molweni. Molweni. Dumelang. Dumelang. Sanbonani. Sanbonani. Goeie aand. And sometimes we get through all 12 languages. Other times we don't. And the complexity of Saura is that through our eclecticness, we sound different. We greet different, we speak different, we have different paces and patterns. And one of the best ways to approach writing in Saura is to lean in on the language of our rhythms. So I'm gonna ask you now just to count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hoza. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, I want to. And that's the idea. The more complicated it gets, the more engaged the ear of Saura is. We are curious about what language is the person switching to, what code are they switching to. So when we introduced the writers to these works, we made our examples outside of Saura. We gave them 3 examples from American writers who are black writers who are writing mostly in Ebonics. So they have a formal languaging, but then they are sub-coding their own language to work within the formal language, which is what South African writers have to do. You are working with the people that can say Dumela, Sanbona, Goeie Vatvat, and all of them are hearing all of it simultaneously and making one story out of it. So we're going to share a little bit of some of our rhythm exercises. Yo. What it is. Hey, yo. What it is.
Hi, my name is Thabang Chauke. Yeah. Prince, don't panic. I have a plan and you will be the mechanic. Prince, I have some honorable mentions, but please close the door before they think I'm a menace. Houdini, Osama, and a man called Stone? Shit, big mistake. The man's name's Capone. You should practice all the tactics so the church can pay our taxes. Be relentless.
Thank you very much. And then for us to find where his coding is, we'll ask him to do the same thing again, but only the sonics of it.
Do 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 do
Yeah. Thank you very much. Why that becomes quite crucial is that we imagine your journey to the theater. We imagine the pedestrian nature of your late night soapy television. And you are used to predictable and acceptable patterns. And we think the playwright has got a moment to capture your imagination, to capture the way people sound, and to make sound even more interesting. Our second example is emerging from there.
You see, I'm the great puppeteer. Pull the strings, watch them dance. Worker, spender, lender, chancer. Want a humble life? Then why do you finance dreams on lay-by? Hustle, grind, never mind. You don't own time, I do. But hush now, don't think too hard. Just swipe the card, embrace the facade. A slick design, a trick sublime. But let's rewind, no time to whine. Oops, broke this game. Kinda like how I break regimes. Funny how that works, isn't it? Huh?
Thank you very much. For the same game, we'll ask him for the soundscape too. And we invite every writer to do, you know? To have your people treat it to something that is really a composition, which is what happens when you start to write love letters to the words that you are using to deploy to tell story. Let's go together one last time.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
And that's really what we begin to pick up, that obviously through the repetition, the joy becomes the disruption. The fact that you are able to deviate, you're able to catch your audience off guard, you're able to add a word that they were not expecting, that becomes a lovely reward. That becomes a thing that makes you tune in even more to find out where the nooks and crannies that the writer is going to take is going to be. The next thing that we ended up speaking to the writers about was sourcing from texts other than their own. So what text do you know? What text have you read that has stayed with you for a long time? What text is it, and it's only in one line, that you feel has got a strong poetic charge, it really means a lot, and unpacking why those texts work. I made the example of a Sam Cooke lyric, which is, I was born by the river in a little tent, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. And then we were then sharing across the entire room the different various texts, and the rule was text cannot be from a play. So it must be from another genre of literature, be it a novel, be it a movie, be it a song, but nothing in the play realm. And then we went back into the Zoom of their own works after they shared their individual texts from other writers, so that they could distill their own one-liners that carry the same poetic poignancy. And now they're going to share those texts.
My legacy will not be similar to that of the Titanic. I'm immune to sinking.
I search for the sun in the ceiling.
Being loved has birthed me into my death.
Krach.
Beneath me, the earth never stopped.
I kissed men as a queen would serve cake.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you've been black longer than you've been dead. Get up!
How many spinning bananas is it going to take for you to realize you are the banana?
Because even your coffin, you have to earn.
One small step for man, one giant heap of pupukaka.
We made the joke earlier that there are varying degrees of success. But across the board, we are grateful for all contributions. But a round of applause, I think, to those lines over there. Because what that then begins to do, if the writer's got like a kind of anchor line that's really quite beautiful, well composed, clear enough, when you're reviewing your other text, you've kind of got a benchmark. You've already created a caliber mark for this is the kind of work that people are going to be experiencing, and this is one of the lines they're going to hear. What's supporting before it and what's supporting after it? So it gives you a kind of anchor and tone, and you're feeling like, actually, I've got something here that needs and has to be heard. I need to pad it, include other things that are of an equal caliber. And then we started going into something else. This gentleman of the Kakapupa Papa is going to share one of his reflections from one of the takeaways.
Yes, so because we were working with 3 different facilitators, and each facilitator had so many different methods of approaching how to approach character, approach plot, approach dialogue, approach words. All of our minds and brains were kind of everywhere. So what really helped me, and I think many of us, was Jefferson asked the question. The question was, I want to show the moment when. And here's why, or what was the second part? To achieve. And that really helped me every time I would get on some tangent. This doesn't sound right, the rhythm doesn't sound right, or the costume that doesn't belong to this character. It would center me back in why I wanted to tell that story.
Thank you so much. And I think that in the place of like a multifaceted Saura, where so many ideas are flooding in, so many topics can be tackled, it becomes quite crucial for the writer, especially after the process that this team had. You are getting so many stimulus, you're getting so many different ideas, so many vehicles of approach, that once you're about to come to a draft, you ask yourself the question is, what is it that I want to share? Which point of the story am I looking to talk about, and what do I want to share? And then to say, to achieve what? Am I achieving an entry point into the world? Am I achieving a changing of my own idea about the concept? Am I achieving an invitation to the audience to view the thing anew? Then once you have that, then you really are answering that question perpetually through the entire text that you've got. So the moment that we're going to come to now is we're going to be sharing the variety of different texts. V, could you...
Good evening. My name is Vuyokazi Ngemntu. Initiating hard reset. Animating unit 007 Zwe. Changing language settings. Ndizokukhapha ndiphuthume abo baphulukene nemizimba. Changing language settings. Horoscope detecting 114 viable life forces. Initiate extrapolation. Changing language settings. Oh, for fuck's sake, you've been dead longer than you've been black. Wake up! Detecting imminent danger, danger, danger.
Let there be no rumors that there is no new South African writing. I would like to take this particular moment to remind us that we are far into the presentation, and all the works you've heard here are the products of this particular week. Everything that you've heard today, these writers have been working on and developing and refining and editing, and it's all the work of this 1 week. So we're really looking forward to what's going to happen over the next couple of months. We're now going to share... guys, are you ready? Guys, are you ready? Guys, are you ready? Yes! I can't let writers of this caliber come to such mediocrity. I'm sorry. I'm jealous when it comes to writers. I want them to know that they are writing. Are you ready? Yes! Are you ready? Yes! All right. I believe you are partially ready. The rest you will be made ready by the text itself. They'll be presenting in sections. I'll come contextualize the sections, and then until we close. We've got now our first three.
I am from a township called Umtambega, a dark town that is in the outskirts of Tembisa. It is filled with hopeless dreamers who are in search of a supreme being, a higher power that is going to grant them luck and prosperity. However, that desire makes them easy targets for highly manipulative con artists who are looking to make their pockets grow bigger. Many of them have joined cults because of their pathetic need to belong to a certain group or ministry. Many of their dreams came crashing down in this town. And our job is simple: benefit from that desperation.
Lifula how lampidisa. Now that I have allowed it into my awareness, it suffocates me. There is illusion that the release is not sacred. For the living know that they will die. The dead know nothing, and they have no more reward. For the memory of them is forgotten. Lifula how lampidi.
Senzani na Senzani na Senzani na It is in human time, an archaic concept we've long problematized for the restrictions it poses on infinity and beyond. September the 12th, 2014. Since the advent of what the historical archive terms settler coloniality, humanity, and in the interest of specificity, African humanities have been outsourcing their connection to divinity, resulting in mass psycho-spiritual dispossession, disbursement, disillusionment, and a general disinheritance of agency. Now, as one such, we, TREP, that is Transhuman Restitution and Emancipation Project, have deployed with urgency our best operative to the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos, Nigeria. Unit 007 Zwe's duty is to perform an EMF extrapolation so as to utilize said electromagnetical fields to animate our top-of-the-range, full-body cybernetic units, galvanizing our military forces so we may proceed to the next phase of Operation Kaulama Kamandela, Kaulama Kamandela. Thanks to our advanced surveillance systems, we're able to look back and observe Unit 007 Zwe in action. Trigger warning. The following scenes contain brutalized black bodies and discombobulated, disembodied beings.
Kushushu ne? Kuhot ne? And those particular groupings come together from a sonic landscape. Those are the works that foreground rhythm, rhyme. And why are you guys singing along? Who invited you? Who gave you the permission? But the theater of Saura knows that immediately you catch, you move. And you didn't ask why it was remixed. You sang along in chorus to the remix. That's how quickly onboarded you are. And that's the use of rhythm that the writers can do now, knowing that, susceptible is. We come to the next two.
Ma.
What will you do? Uzazithini inkukhu nto?
Nto. Pauses, thinks about her mother's question, imagines what she may do.
Ndayicinga. What to do with chickens but to roast them?
To Ma.
Ngizozifuya ma.
Ma.
Ukwaze lapho ufuya inkukhu nontombi?
Nto. Excited, persuasive, pitching her idea, answering the parallel question.
How hard can it be, ma?
She stands.
I will buy a cage or a coop.
Circles the work table which becomes the coop.
Or find someone to build it. I will put it in the back emthunzini.
Stands back to look at it.
5, 6, 8 chickens, all colors and sizes. I will let them out ekuseni and shut them in ntambama. Enter, enter, enter. Puma, out. And if one tries to escape,
she chases the chicken around the garden. When she has cornered it, she whispers chicken sounds as it draws closest to her.
I will throw a flag over it, or itawul, or langubo yakho icheki.
She picks one up. She picks up one of the pot plants on the floor and enacts the following lines, holding it like a baby, returning it to the coop, talking to it.
And I will hold it like a little chicken baby in my arms. In the blanket, so the feathers don't touch me. Feathers are odd and bony, too fluffy, too alive.
To the chicken, cooing yet chastising.
Ayibona ndosi. Alikafiki elakho. Ngena, ngena, ngena.
To Ma, with a soft resignation.
Ma, I will decide which of them to sell. I will. To keep, what spices to use. All while I am outside. Maybe not Italy outside, but outside here, where I can feel the sun. Can you feel it, Ma?
I'm Chloë Reid. It's too late now, sorry. I know. I'm sorry, but you can't go back. You blew it.
There's nothing left.
You can keep wishing if you want to. If it makes you feel better, keep fishing for a second chance.
Take a chance. You already had your chance. You had it and you lost it.
You should have listened to your wife.
Better you forget it ever happened.
Your number was out, 1,000 to 1.
You got lucky.
So lucky.
And then... Don't look at me.
Don't look at us.
I'm just here. Me and the others. Individuals.
Individuals?
But connected by this thin, semi-transparent skin. The casing. How much do you know about sausages?
The meat is extruded from the core. The core is coated with a layer of sodium alginate. The core is then dipped into aqueous calcium chloride solution to induce gelation. A layer of calcium alginate film forms on the sausage.
You're a sausage.
You're a sausage. You are a sausage. You're a sausage.
I digress.
We digress.
It's over. When days are dark, yes, where are your friends?
When nobody knows you, when you're down and out.
Tell us, why do you exist?
Exist. Exist? I don't exist. I infect, I direct, I perfect the art of keeping you in debt. I'm your first breath and your last bill. You need me straight from the womb. Your birth certificate is the receipt. And don't even think about getting sick. You'll be coughing up more than just phlegm, my friend. Oh, you thought that time was free. Adorable. Every second's banked, lent, spent, interest compounds before the day's even through. The rush, that's me. The noise, that's me. The humble, I tax that. The armed, I fund that. The compliant, I mold that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I am your trusted advisor after all. Look, people love a game, and this is the only game in town. Monopoly was never a board game. It's a board game played by those too poor to pass go. You want to win? Then pick a card. Any card. Credit, debit, platinum, black. Now tell me, what's in your wallet? Oh, but be quick. Time is money, and you're wasting both.
There are flaws here.
Flaws. I'm flawless. Supply and demand is the lawless law, and I enforce it with grace. You pay for water that falls for free, for homes built on stolen land, for air. Wait, sorry, not yet. But give me some time, I'm working on it. I'll find a way to bottle the breeze. I am the great puppeteer. I pull the strings, watch them dance, worker, spender, lender, chancer. Want a humble life? Then why do you finance dreams by lay-by? Hustle, grind, never mind. You don't own your time, I do. But hush now, don't think too hard. Just swipe the card, embrace the facade.
But
no buts, only transactions. Your life's a ledger, and your life's a ledger, and I'm the only one keeping score. Now, would you like to continue the conversation, or should I send you the bill? Because even your coffin, you have to earn.
Another round of applause, please. And that section begins to speak more to how do we invite other voices to the solitary thinker's work. So the majority of those texts may have emerged as monologues, may have emerged as streams of consciousness, and then suddenly you're in a room with other people and you're trying to figure out what lands where, and now you're playing with multiple characters to figure out relationships between people, relationships between things, relationships between places, and when the things have different voices, how they then affect each other through the ideas. Now we're going to our next chunk.
A cat, propane 2.0, black size 10 boot, slams into her ribs, and she wakes, coughs, and water leaves her mouth. It is 1 a.m., and she lays there, body on the floor. Last thing she remembers, she was floating on a raft, the shape of a door, a metaphor for exit or entry, she was not quite sure. The raft, patched from the bones of throwaway doors and sustained by the breath of those who never made it over the river from Chirundu village. On her head, a Ghana must go bag, perfectly balanced, as if the ghost inside it holds its breath, and beneath her, the Limpopo kept moving.
Name?
I have drowned it.
State your purpose.
I am searching for a place where the sun can't see me.
And why must the sky choose to be blind?
Because a man is dead.
You have done this terrible thing. The law is only concerned with if and not why.
God too.
Then you are hunted by both.
The border breaks and opens its mouth and swallows Bait Bridge whole. Wire by wire, the fence unravels itself. The line in the sand forgets itself. Leaving is postponed. In this undoing, she stands still for the first time since the incident.
Hello again. So, for context, my lead alien character has just been followed into space by her incel ex-boyfriend. I think it's time for you to head back to Earth.
What? I just got here and we've reunited.
I don't have time for a relationship, and life functions differently in space.
But I could always assimilate. You did pretty good in my world.
Exactly that. Where I'm going and where I'm from, we don't have worlds to assimilate into. This is space, and I don't have any for you. Goodbye.
But I thought that you wanted me here. That's what you said. Being an alien is lonely, and that one day you'd hope someone would find you, and I'm here.
That's not what I meant. It was more in the sense that I wanted to return to, and you said that you would help people on Earth colonize space because there was something worth sharing in the galaxy. I think you may have misinterpreted what I said, or I was speaking out of context, or I was recovering from that relationship with the fascist.
You dated a fascist? I mean, you dated someone else besides me?
I don't remember. You could have been between the server from Mexico and that German guy from the far-right party, or the kind of hot Asian whose uncle invented blockchain, or that Afrikaans girl from South Africa who's a lesbian who spends all of her time at trance festivals. I mean, Earth... I was on Earth for some times and things are a bit blurry.
Well, this is coming as quite a surprise to me. We had a real relationship. It lasted a bit longer than some summer fling.
Well, I think we've unpacked my adventurous love life enough. It's time for you to leave.
But I thought there would be more potential for more time together.
And why would you assume that we have more time?
Because that's what you said on Earth.
Well, this is space, and matters of time aren't the same. Also, I don't really remember anything from Earth, let alone an empty promise.
But but what? I thought we had something special.
There is no such thing as special. Special is a term that humans use to feel less shameful that they won't survive in relation to the rest of outer space. And decolonizing is a special way for me to say, I don't have the resources for you and your rocket.
There's no need to be evil. I just don't know where to go now.
And there is no such thing as evil. I just never loved you. Please leave.
But I came all the way from Earth to show you my special toy.
We had sex one time.
We were married.
Getting rid of a dead body in space is more difficult than I imagined. I'd only seen dead things while I was on Earth. A dead cow in the shape of a steak served at a fancy restaurant, or a dead cockroach stuck underneath a shoe. And it just sat there like an offering. Thank you.
Yeah, ne? Yeah. Yeah. There is a barrage of what works. We'll put you in the taxi rank. We'll put you at the lobola negotiation. There are 5 topics that we can tick off that we know South African audiences must be exposed to. This last section begins to imagine that we can tackle other topics based outside only of our domestic confines. It's a different age, and different writers are writing to different things. We thank you for caring about Umjolo as a space. The last 2 works that we're going to showcase, we present just for that reason, to speak to the vastness of how we have so much as a country to offer. When you hear these works back to back, you will see into yobana ababhali balapha baphethe obuchule obukhulu. Asisi.
It's moving. The water.
Moving in the glass.
Yeah, it's moving in the glass, yeah.
This is the second time this has happened?
Yes.
Today?
No, ever.
Oh, so this is the second occurrence that we're witnessing?
Yes.
Right now?
I think so.
Did it move?
It's moving now.
You think it's going to change glasses soon? Like, move entirely?
Well, if it's moving now, that's what I'd surmise, yes, but I actually really don't know. It's moon water. I don't know.
I think we need more. Should we get more?
What would that solve?
I don't know, but we should try it. That's why we're here.
Yeah, but do we need more? This is enough to do the trick?
I don't think the trick is working. I think we need more.
It might be working. No, you're right, it's not working.
I'm getting more. Can we have more, please? They'll bring us more. I feel like that might help.
Should I speak to it?
Gently.
Hey, Moonwater. Please show us how you work.
Get personal with it.
How are you? Do you miss home? Or does this count as home too? Do you like being here? Do you like anything?
Ask it to please move.
Please move. We need you to perform for us. Please. What made you perform the first time?
Tell it that life on earth depends on this very moment. We're all gonna die if it doesn't move.
You said gentle.
I'm losing patience. Move, change, do something, help us. I think when more comes, it'll do something. It probably needs a friend.
We are being friendly.
But it's not enough. Clearly, I think I should touch it.
Oh, we should inform someone.
We're touching it!
I'm not touching it.
I'm touching it. It could help us.
Well, or worse.
How else do we find out?
Has anyone else touched it?
I don't think so.
Did they tell us not to touch it?
They told us to figure out how it works. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Gauteng. 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 Once upon a time, I was once a ladies' man. Where there were ladies, nekilite. Making bellies grow. Case in point, Kappa from Stad, beautiful young koi girl. We spent time in the sun, and together we were one, but for a while. Gauteng, you don't even love me. You just want to swim in my ocean. Yeah, but don't act like you don't enjoy my nama. Oh my God! She goes to the window for some air. Eldorado, come back from that park! Eldorado screams from the top of his lungs. Mommy, Hillbro is hanging out with the bad scientists. I even saw him do this. Yeah, Kapstad, I told you we needed to do Imbeleko for our son Hillbro. But no, not in front of the child, Gau. Tusang. Now I'm very shocked. Who's that singing outside? It's your nephew Alex. He's very, very drunk. Uvile is hanging from a tree. Pumahaudeng. Sentin, my son, please help your brother. Uvile, Sentin, stepchild of Gauwateng, replies. Yo, I can't, dude. Yo, I have a date with Rosebank. Bye, Mom. Bye, baby. Bye, baby. Our child Uvile is hanging from that tree. Well, he's your child, not mine. And Santin, don't you dare touch that tree or you'll be late for your date. What? We'll call my friend Avalon. She owes me a favor. And what about our son? Which one? Msawawa. Get over it. Must I also get over the fact that you have been sleeping with that blesser in blue suits? You think I don't know you've been wasting You think I don't know that you've been wasting my money kissing his babies? Yes, Daddy D. Hada Daddy A. Yes, Daddy D. Hada Daddy A. Well, he's not like you in the sheets. He's very, very zealous. Oh, is that why you've been telling the neighbors that you want independence from me and our child, Msawawa? Msawawa, stop playing with electricity. Go to your room. Eskom, I told you to look after your cousin Msawawa. Kapstad, Msadiwaka, don't call me that. Msawawa may have special needs, but she also deserves our love.
So that's the end of 5 days. We invite you to follow this process because we are exceptionally excited to see what's going to emerge from these extraordinary new voices. Another round of applause, please. And a final thank you to Neil Coppen, MoMo Matsunyane, Jefferson Tshabalala, Dave Mann, and to the entire center team, and to all of you for coming out in the dark to come to the center. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.